This was supposed to be a recap video about our wins in 2025. Instead, I need to share the lesson that humbled me. The mistake that cost me 40,000 euros, my car, and nearly my entire company. It's going to be a hard one to tell, with a bit of a "forgive me, Father, for I have sinned" confession vibe. We've been doing bespoke manufacturing for 5 years now. Design and engineering has been my bread and butter for 17. I know how to build things, but building a business, that is a different beast. Most of the time, it feels like your company is the wrong size. You're either too small for the big jobs or too big for the small ones. You either have too much work or too little. You're always on your feet, dancing to the music somebody else is playing. I think business part is generally hard for creatives. It's a different hemisphere kind of thing. And here's my painful example of how things can turn south really fast. The first 4 years of running business were relatively smooth sailing. Slowly growing each year, but 2024 ended steaming like a pressure cooker. Our team grew from 5 to 9 people, but still, we were just chasing deadlines. And I have been overwhelmed with day-to-day operations, instead of seeing the bigger picture. The turning point was Christmas. My guys didn't sleep just to deliver a project before holidays. It was stressful, and I told myself, we need to find a better way. We need to take it easy at the start of 2025 and plan better. At that point, I didn't know that stressful job is still better than no job. Second thing that helped to brew our perfect storm was the creative part of our business. There is a layer of ego where you never want to say no to the cool projects. The ones where you make something nice and fun for hot brands or with a great visibility. Even if it pays worse, you only want to say no to the dull projects. But you need to find a balance, because if you only chase the fun work, you might lose the cash flow. And if there is no cash flow, there is no business. It's simple as that. Just before we break for holidays, the phone rings. It's a client I know well, but we never really did a project together. He says, let's make a restaurant interior, completely bespoke, design and build, everything. And we want you to do also our apartment. I'm thinking, dream job. This will book our capacity for the first half of the year. I decided, let's not take any other jobs. Let's focus on this one. Let's cool down like I planned. I took their word for it. We're doing this, deal done. Now I have a rule. Until the contract is signed and the money lands, the project does not exist. But back then, I was more naive, or maybe it was just a previous chain of relatively problem-free projects that made me be this faithful. They put so much urgency on it. They need to open ASAP, so we started designing immediately. And as usual, we over-delivered. They paid for sketches, we gave them mock-ups, prototypes, we ordered exotic wood samples, we built one-to-one prototype of light and bar to test ergonomics. We've done plenty of material samples and experiments. They loved it. They left the meeting very enthusiastic. I went over a couple of times to measure and look at the space. We 3D scanned the interior, so we had everything down to 1 millimeter. But then the enthusiasm slowed down. We need to save cost here and there, they said. Maybe use our cheaper contractor for some of the bits. Then the invoices went overdue. My calls went unanswered. But I kept believing, because I knew the client, at least I thought so. Hopefulness has no room in business. You work with the facts, not hope. Meanwhile, I had to turn down other work, because I didn't want to spread the team thin. Our monthly expenses were 20,000 euros at that time. Salaries, rent, tools, and we are playing a waiting game with this project. 2 months pass, we burned through our company savings. We took on smaller jobs like bespoke stainless steel kitchens, things we usually don't do. I searched for the bigger projects, but negotiations take months before anything starts. Another month passes. I start burning through my personal cash. Then came the tough decisions. I stopped paying myself salary, I sold some tools, and I sold my car. But the burn rate was still too high. It was time to have some uncomfortable conversations. I had to let few people go, what is the hardest thing, and others worked only part-time for a month or two. My final mistake was being too slow. I was slow to react. Until things stabilized, I had injected 40,000 euros of personal savings just to cover salaries and keep the lights on. In May, things started to turn around for better, but it really took until August until we were completely out of the woods. All the years up to this point, jobs have been quite consistent and we grew with them. Of course, we had occasional dry January or August, but we always had some cash to weather a month or two, and things usually picked up. Don't think that just because something happened in some way, time and time again, it will happen like that always. Be prepared for anomalies and act fast. So it's September, we survived, we're booked again, and suddenly, out of the blue, our dream project client calls. He speaks calmly, friendly, like everything is going according to plan. Hey Jacob, we decided not to use the bank. We're financing it from our savings, so we have only 10% of the original budget available for the whole fit out. I guess it's not something you can work with, right? I wished him a good day, and that was the end of it. So how did this change us? We keep the team smaller, we're more efficient, more nimble, we're booked 6 months ahead now. But honestly, I wouldn't change much. It was an expensive lesson, but we stayed true to our values. We made fair decisions and I can sleep at night. Experience isn't transferable, so I'm afraid this might only help you to make decisions a little faster or maybe better, but you're going to have to stumble through your own disaster projects eventually. I wish you luck, I will see you on the other side, and this is why it takes time.